In this video, I'm going to share with you how I created this makeup look using the products I shared in my previous video of my favourites and fails for the last couple of months. If you would like to see how this look was created, just keep watching. Hi, my name is Ange. Welcome to my channel where I share all things beauty and lifestyle as I navigate my more mature years and share those experiences with you as I play with makeup and skincare and other interesting things as I try to make the most of my mature years. If that sounds like you and you would like to join a wonderful group of women who are in their mature years who like to have a bit of a chat in the comments below, please consider subscribing by clicking on the subscribe button. We would love you to join us. Now, as I said, I'm going to create a makeup look as I have here using the products that I went through in my recent favourites and fails video. Now, most of these products that I've used are absolute favourites, and a lot of them are products that I just use on a daily basis. I don't think twice, pick them up, use them. So I have incorporated them in this look because they're products that I use on the daily. So let's get started. Good Molecules eye patches. I like using those if I do my hair before my makeup. Normally I do my makeup before my hair so that it sort of air dries a little bit before going in with my new fave. Then any excess product, just tapping it into the eye area. First goodie is my One Size Beauty Secure the Blur Makeup Magnet Primer. So good, so good. Probably top 2 primers. Love it. It's a lotion and it really is just light and beautiful on the skin. I think great if you've got mature skin. I have texture and it just lightly smooths that out as well. And then another primer I love and use every day is the Becca Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer, and I just pop my finger in there and pat that under the eye, and it really does help my concealer as best as it can for a 50-year-old under eye or 54-year-old under eye. Whoa. And I just tap that on like that. 2 foundations that I have been wearing a lot, and the reason I'm using the 2 is I have been combining foundations a lot for the last few weeks, and I really enjoy this Too Faced Born This Way matte foundation. And the reason I've been mixing it is it's a little bit dark for my skin as I'm coming out of summer, so I've been mixing it with other foundations that are a little bit lighter to see me through. I am going to get this shade here is Natural Beige, and I'm going to get it in light beige because I really enjoy this foundation at the moment. This actually pairs very well with every foundation in my collection that I have mixed it with. It hasn't been a problem. It's a great partner for mixing. Today I am going to be using the Sephora Best Skin Ever in the lighter shade I have 20N. So I've been doing a pump of 1 and a half a pump or a pump of the Born This Way. I pop it on the back of my hand, mix it together and dot it on my skin. Leave a little bit on the back of my hand so that I can go back in to do areas that I need to do a little bit more coverage. And I love a beauty sponge. I like a beauty sponge because I find it easier to clean than a foundation sponge, and I just clean it every day at the sink when I wash my face, whereas cleaning a foundation brush is a bit of a flaff for me. And I just like the finish I get from a beauty sponge. It just blends really well on a mature skin, I think. And then I've got little wee crevices in here, so open the mouth to get in there. And I'm finding I really need to take care in around my nose now. And then what's left on my hand, I'll dip in and just stamp where I have pigmentation I like to cover up. I probably could have gone a little bit lighter again, so I think sooner rather than later I need to get the light beige in the Born This Way matte foundation. And even though it's matte, see the glow I've got on my skin, and just blend it under my chin because my melasma goes all the way down my neck. But because I've got a very short neck, I don't like blending too far down because all my makeup rubs off on my clothes because I don't have a lot of space there. So that's the foundation. The concealer that I have been wearing the most lately is a concealer that I've had to change my mind on. I hated this when I first got it, and it is the Mcgrath Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer, and my colour is in LM10. When I first got it, I felt it was really cakey under my eyes, and I am using it now because it's really full coverage, but I use a lot smaller amount than what I used when I first got it. So I'm very discoloured in this area here, so I do 2 little dots and the outside. Just like that, and taking the pointy end of my sponge, and this is where I have to be careful because I think this is where I'm getting my watery eyes from, is from that tear duct area. So I'll take a little brush and I'm just going to feather that in rather than using the sponge and getting it in my eye. But I do need it in the inner corner because I have got those shadows in there. And then just taking the sponge, and then my go-to under eye powder is my Hourglass Diffused Light and my little e.l.f. blush brush, which is so soft and perfect for this and super affordable. And I just lightly tap powder under there. Now for the powder for the rest of my face, my go-to is the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Baking and Setting Powder, and the colour I use is in Pound Cake. And I have taken to using my beauty sponge, still damp, dipping it in the powder and pressing that into my skin. Now another favourite powder I have, which I'm being naughty and only using it on special occasions, and that is my Chanel Loose Powder pre-update of formula. So I'm going to get another one of the updated formula, and if I find it's not too different, I think my go-to will be the Chanel, and my second backup will be the Pound Cake. But this is what I use on a daily. I love it. It's so finely milled. It's light on my skin. Doesn't show any texture. And I just really like it. I haven't used it under my eyes. I don't need to because I have the diffused light. So I press that in with my sponge, and then just to make sure I have any excess off, I have a very soft powder brush and I just zhuzh any excess powder away. The brow product that I have been using most lately is my Kat Von D Brow Struck in the colour Taupe. I tried to get the Huda Bomb Brow pencil, but it was sold out, so I'm keeping my eye out for that. And I like this because it doesn't budge, and it's really easy to apply. And using my little Ricky Loves Ricky hand mirror, very easy to use. And I'll just fill in my brows. They probably need updating in microblading, but it gives me the shape and just easy to top up. A product that is a complete fail for me is the Anastasia Brow Freeze Brow Styling Wax. I have got it in my brows at the moment. I forgot to click record again, but it might look like my eyebrows are standing to attention at the moment. That won't last this whole makeup tutorial. They'll be heading south before the end of the video. It's very pricey. I don't think it works at all. Certainly doesn't on my eyebrows. And I have bought a massive tub of hair gel in the past for about $5, and that has worked as well as this. So waste of money in my opinion. Two face palettes that I have pulled out and have been using almost daily are the two Becca, Chloe and Malika face palettes. I reached for one and then pulled out the other, and I have been having them sitting on my makeup table behind me, and it's what I've been using on most days because everything is in the palette. And I just love them because they have a highlighter, a bronzer and two shades of blush that I can use. And I've just been mixing and matching them, to be fair. I'm probably going to have to put this one away because it's more of summer tones for me. But I may use the pink shade in there today for blush. Just for chance's sake, I've been using up one of my old contour shades, but I'm going to use the bronze shade in here for a contour very lightly. I don't use very much of it anyway, and I'll just tap that in there and just pop that in my outer portion. I do it from the top of my ear. I know there's big trends coming around with having everything up round by the eye, and yes, it does look lifted. I've always put my blusher higher up on my cheek because I've always found you smile, you do the whole cheeky thing, and when you mature you stop smiling and your cheek comes down here. So I have always put my blusher higher up on my cheek anyway, just not as high as where they, I mean, blush is blush, and at the moment I'm not tempted to put my blush up here because that's not where you naturally flush. So it's not a trend I've got into as yet, and I don't know if I will. I am saying as yet because things do change, but at the moment I'm keeping blush where I've always put blush, which is higher up on my cheeks but not at the outer corner of my eye. So I'm just dotting that there, probably nondescript, but I like it. Then going in with my favourite palette of the two, I'm going to take the bronzer shade in here with my Eco Tools powder brush actually, and I use it as a bronzer brush, and just lightly dusting that around the perimeter of my forehead as I have quite a round face. I really have been loving these palettes. As I might go for a more pinky-ish eye, neutral eye look, I am going to try the pink tone in this palette here, and just popping that really lightly because it's very pigmented and using my Sonia G Cheek Pro brush. Love, love, love this cheek brush. I'd love to have more Sonia G brushes. They are pricey and I have to double the US price getting them for myself here. So that's the pink from that palette. I could use the highlighters from these as well, but they're a little bit on the gold side for what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to use my Holy Grail highlighter that I love and I've hit pan, and it is my Dior Skin Nude Air Luminizer in 001. And I like this when I'm wearing pink shades, and I'm just going to pop that up the top at edge there. My nose. I always like doing tip of my nose. Another product I absolutely love is my Chantecaille Hummingbird limited edition Perfect Blur finishing powder, and I see that the new collection that's come out with the butterfly has this powder again, so I think I will repurchase that to have as a backup for this, because this is a great finishing powder. And I just go over all over and just blend everything in, and it just gives a lovely smooth finish. Love this powder. Okay, so I don't look like a ghost while I'm doing the rest of my makeup, my favourite lip pencils that I've ever tried are the KKW Beauty lip liners, and this is in Nude 1.5. And I actually want to try more shades of those lip liners because I just really enjoy them. I showed several lipsticks in my previous video of faves, and one of them was the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude lipstick. This is in Judith. I love the longevity of these lipsticks, and I just like the nude. The eye primer that I have been using a lot, and it's only because it's the only eye primer I have. I do like it, but I'm going to go back to the NARS Pro Prime eye primer. I think that's really great for mature eyes, but I have been using the Anastasia eye primer. I do like it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be using it. And a little bit goes a long way, and I think I'll be using it for a very long time. And then I just pop it on my lids, and my poor lids are really sore because I haven't got lashes, so I've been using glue-on lashes, strip lashes, and the glue is a bother to get off, so I've been using, I need to get a proper oil-based eye makeup remover, and I do like the Sephora one, so I might get that one just to be a bit more gentle on my eyes, because the glue is really hard to get off. Now what I have been doing at this stage is, after I've spread that out, I'm going in with my sponge just to take any excess off, because it is very pigmented. Okay, now the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to use, I've used this in another video of new makeup products, but I really love this palette. It is the Dior Quint in 669 Soft Cashmere, and I'm going to use that today. I'm going to do more of a, not going to use the shimmers today, I'm going to stick with the matte satin shades today. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sonia G Worker 1 brush, and I'm going to go in with this shade here. And I'm going to pop that all over my lid. I really like this palette for its neutral, erring on cool tones. And then I'm just blending around the edges and blending it up. Take the same colour and run it under my eye. I'm going to take one of my Anastasia Beverly Hills little brushes, and I'm going to take the darker colour in the palette, and using the flat shader end, I'm just going to go, I'm going to need to use this, really close to the lash line, but on the lid, all across. Packing that on, like you can see there, and I'm just packing that on at the moment. And then I'm going to take that same brush that I used before and blend it upwards so that it blends up, and I might just dip a little bit more in there to blend it on the lid so that it graduates into that first colour. For a smoky sort of eye, I just want to show you why I've got the shade on there. The colour I've got there, if I was to look straight ahead, that is up to my crease. So that is the only lid area that I have. It's hard to work with sometimes. This brush is such a dream to work with and blend. Love it. Okay, so now all I'm going to be doing is blending to make sure we get a nice transition gradient up to the top. And I don't look like I've got a black eye, hopefully. Taking care to make sure that we've blended in that outer corner. And taking the darker one and just putting it in that corner, flicking it up at the edge there, filling in that blank space, negative space that I get with my wrinkly eyes. And taking the other end of the brush, and this brush is scratchy on the other end, so if you are used to the beautiful softness of more higher end brushes, you will notice that. But I do like those Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes as workhorse brushes. Okay, speaking of Anastasia Beverly Hills, they went through a stage where they were just pumping out palettes, boom, 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 and there hasn't been much lately. Interesting. Which is good for me because I do tend to love most of the palettes that they do put out. So I'm just blending that to make it softer, but still smoky. And these hooded eyes. Look at it, it just... And while I'm talking about that, that is a huge fail for me and a disappointment for me, is I'm missing my lash extensions. I truly am. I have had them for so many years now and I was doing them myself. I'm very tempted to go back to doing my own lash extensions again, as I could get them to last a lot longer than what I was getting done at the lash salon. So I've taken to wearing strip lashes recently, and I'm not a fan because at least when I had lash extensions I felt put together anytime. You know, if I'm just schlepping around the house with no makeup on or anything like that, I had my lashes and I still felt pretty. But I really don't like not having lashes. And yes, I have been using lash serums, and I've just got very, very sad lashes that take a lot of effort, and even though the lash serums are working to get my thickness back and a little bit of length, they don't grow very long and they still stay poker straight. So I'm not fortunate where they curl and look stunning like some people. So I'm just concentrating on that outer corner to make sure it's not too faded. So that's using soft cashmere, just using these two shades there. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to pop off camera and do a liner. I'll use a black liner in my waterline and my strip lashes, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, doesn't it look so much better with lashes? I do miss having beautiful lashes. So these are strip lashes. I've applied those and I used my Via Veneto NARS eyeliner in my upper waterline to complete the look. So using the soft cashmere Dior quint in a different way to the previous video that I filmed, using that in a get ready with me using new products. But I really like it. It's a smoky daytime look, I think, and could also transition for an evening look as well. I hope you enjoyed me using these products that I previewed in my previous video, sharing my faves and fails for the month. And I really do love sharing products that I'm using on the daily with you. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. If you haven't already, click on the subscribe button so you can join us on our mature years journey as we try and find that balance between work, life, and what makes us happy. I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. See you later, guys. Bye.